here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's start with the mayor's race. Incumbent Lenny Curry is spending like this is a much closer race than the polls suggest.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he really wants to do is end this in March. I think that's why he's got the big spending right now. Curry raised money, prodigiously. He's been spending it prodigiously. A lot of the spend's been through statewide political committees, which has allowed him to stretch the money farther. It's been a very efficient operation, but his team says it's like running a gubernatorial campaign in terms of the buys, in terms of the presence. It's the send a message kind of campaign.
And that message began in January, hitting Anna Brochet as soon as she filed and announced hitting her, and it's been personal.
Right. I mean, even before Brochet filed, they put out an ad, and that sort of set the tone. It's been an attack after attack on Brochet, and Brochet hasn't really had the budget to answer back. I mean, she's gotten a couple of things in here and there, but her creative has not really kept up, and Curry's been dominating the message as we go into the final days of this election.
And what have your observations been of the Brochet strategy, too? A lot of people were wondering when the first ad would come out, and it was many, many weeks after she had filed and announced.
Well, I think she really should have filed after she left the council presidency. She should have opened a campaign account, been more upfront about it, made her debate more clear, because as it was, she's kind of running an underground campaign. Democratic operatives, Republican operatives from Pensacola. There have been a lot of issues with this campaign that have come down to not having a cohesive message. And, really, when we look back on this campaign in a few months, we're going to look at missed opportunities on Brochet's part, but, she's set it for 2023 also, so, it's a good news, bad news scenario, but I think it really ends on Tuesday.
What do you think about the Democrats not even fielding a candidate for this?
I think it's political malpractice. I read that in the column. I still believe that because, a Democrat on the ticket would have gotten 40% of the vote. If it had been, a generic Democrat with some political legacy, like a Meek Jones type or somebody like that, they would have had a runoff coming, but instead they got a functional Republican primary. And, when you have something like that, the advantage goes to who wins Republican primaries. And I mean, Lenny Curry is a former state party boss. He knows the mechanisms, he knows the players. Anna Brochet does not. And it came off in the last 2 months.
We have had a lot of discussion, and voters even have made their voices heard about the use of public employees in political ads, not just in the mayor's race, the sheriff's race, but some city council candidates now. We're seeing uniformed JSO officers that often the council may be asking weeks and weeks ago for their opinion based on a new ordinance passed by city council in December, and they seemed caught off guard that the opinion hadn't been drafted yet. Now it's been released, and they have described why it's all right for these officers to appear in ads. What's your take on this? Do you think this is a one-time thing, that maybe that opinion won't stand later on?
I mean, this is subject to revision. I mean, legal opinions are like that. They're always revised. When you look at this particular dynamic, you've got a sheriff, a mayor, a state attorney that are very linked to public safety unions. So they're going to make the case that it's free speech for the union members. They can say what they want to, even if they're in uniform. The Hatch Act consideration, that's not going to play in this election. 2023 is going to be a different dynamic, and it's quite likely you're going to see the current sheriff running for mayor. So I think we're going to see different questions answered down the road. But for this election, it's not really an issue that's going to be resolved.
Let's talk about some of the city council races. We have just a couple minutes left. District 14 has become a contentious race.
I live over there, and I know that one. You've got two Democrats, Sonny Gettinger, Jimmy Peluso. They're both sort of vying for the progressive wing. Randy DeFore, she's a Lenny Curry machine kind of candidate. Henry McMahon, he's conservative. And that's going to a runoff. And the Democrats are really fighting right now to see which one of them gets in there against DeFore. It's going to be interesting.
The at-large seats are interesting too, and including the race to replace Brochet.
Right. You got Lisa King, the Democrat, running. Lisa King was the chair of the Democratic Party when they pretty much decided not to have a mayor. So that may or may not play here. Terrence Freeman, he was appointed by Rick Scott to the council. He's the most likely Republican to get to the runoff. He was going to have a lot more money than King. This is a priority seat for the mayor's political machine. Terrence Freeman's going to have all the resources he needs. The question is, can he converge?
At the end of the day, city council leans Republican?
It leans toward the establishment. Whether you're Republican or Democrat in the city, you're talking to the same donors, the same developers, the same conversations are happening.
In terms of victory for this election, though, do you?
Yeah.
Republicans will outnumber.
It will be Republican lean, but that's going to be a distinction without a difference because a lot of Democrats play ball. Look at Tommy Missouri. Tommy Missouri is a big ally of Mary Lynn Curry, and there are a number of Democrats that are on council who also play ball. Chief Gaffney comes to mind.
Hey, Chief Gaffney, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Hey, thank you.
Coming up on